allow me to cut to the chase as to why I'm out here. My husband and I demand to know who the sick bastard was that dressed up as my father last week. As we all know, my father is in the hospital. So, whoever you are, I demand that you come out tonight and reveal yourself, or my husband will find you. What's up, YouTube? This is Mathos97, and welcome back to an episode of WWE 2K14 Universe Mode. This is episode number 32, and we're here with Monday Night Raw once again. And as you can see, there's the WWE Championship rankings. Speaking of Dean Ambrose, we have not seen or heard from Dean Ambrose since the events of Main Event last Wednesday. And now we can look at the tag team division here. Primetime players appear to be number one, and there's the Divas division. But let's go ahead and take a look at the match card. Antonio Cesaro one-on-one with Dolph Ziggler in their opening contest. Primetime players take on the Wyatt family, as both these tag teams have been getting some victories as of late. We have Jack Swagger versus Zack Ryder one-on-one. Kane and Chris Jericho teaming up to take on Daniel Bryan and CM Punk. And in the main event, the Shield looking for a bit of retribution against the Undertaker, so they'll be facing him in a handicap match. Antonio Cesaro defeats Dolph Ziggler, and the Wyatt family defeats the Primetime players. So, I mean, it seems like whenever it comes to the Wyatt family, the Primetime players just can't get the job done. And Zack Ryder gets some revenge against Jack Swagger, getting the victory here. As we know, last week, Swagger got the win. And that's when that whole shenanigans situation began with whoever was dressed up as you-know-who, as Vince McMahon. So we're yet to find out who that man is, but hopefully they should reveal themselves later on tonight. But let's move into this tag team matchup here. Very interesting pairing between these four superstars. We know Daniel Bryan wants a match with CM Punk. We know that CM Punk has faced Chris Jericho in the past. So we know that Daniel Bryan and Chris Jericho are set to face each other at some point. And we know that CM Punk and Chris Jericho faced each other in a King of the Ring qualifying match. And we know that Daniel Bryan and Kane faced each other in a King of the Ring qualifying match. So since the Authority seems to be hell-bent on not having Bryan versus Punk, instead they've paired them together against the team of Chris Jericho and Kane. And I don't know, these are some interesting pairings, I've got to say. Very interesting tag team matchup here. We'll have to see how things turn out, if the egos of these four superstars would be able to coexist, if Chris Jericho and Kane could work together. I mean, I would think Daniel Bryan and CM Punk, they've worked together in the past. I wouldn't think there'd be any issues there. But as for Chris Jericho and Kane, these two have never really teamed together ever. I mean, do they really share any sort of common traits of any sort? I don't know, but we'll have to see if they can work together as a unit, and hopefully their egos don't get the better of them in this tag team matchup here. But now it is Chris Jericho making his way down to the ring after that long intro entrance, and I still personally like it better when it blacks out and then the pyro goes off, but that's just my opinion. Nowadays it seems like it's more of the pyro then blackout, and I don't know why there was that black screen there. Might have been a small editing issue. I might not have lined the clips up completely together. I'm not sure. But anyway, now making his way to the ring is Daniel Bryan, and Daniel Bryan seems to have adapted to the no chance ever since he has been unable, ever since the Authority would not grant him a match with CM Punk. It seems like he's been more focused on the no chances. You know, I mean, I would be too. I'd be frustrated. Daniel Bryan, I mean, he should be getting a match with CM Punk. It's what the people want to see. It's what you and I all want to see. But for some reason, the Authority just doesn't seem to want to give him that match with CM Punk. But we can see now, there is the Second City Saint, the voice of the voiceless, the best in the world, CM Punk. As we can see here, looks like all four superstars have a red attire, and we're here on Monday Night Raw, so that just seems fitting, doesn't it? But we're going to start things off here. Kane and Daniel Bryan, former tag team partners of Team Hell No. And as we remember, these two were former tag team champions. They began this universe mode as the tag team champions, but they went on to lose the belts at Extreme Rules to the then tag team of Air Boom, and Evan Bourne just kind of disappeared from this universe mode I don't know. I don't really. I don't know. I don't even know if Evan Bourne's gonna come back in the real WWE or not. Because I mean, they said he was recovered had to have been like 4 or 5 months ago, maybe even like half a year. I mean, it seems like they said he was recovered a while ago, but he just kind of you never really hear of Evan Bourne. Is he in NXT or something? I don't know. I haven't ever seen Evan Bourne do anything. Did he get re-injured? I don't know what's going on there, but the same kind of goes with Ezekiel Jackson. They both got injured and then just disappeared. I don't know what happened with either of them, but anyway, that was just sort of tangent there. But anyway, back to the match. Daniel Bryan and Kane starting things off, former tag team partners of Team Hell No. Daniel Bryan going right to the arm, and that's what Daniel Bryan likes to do. He's a submission specialist. Try to work on the arm of Kane, and that could also potentially take away the choke slam out of Kane's arsenal, and as well as some of those other power moves that Kane likes to do. But the choke slam especially, if you can take out the arms of Kane, then he's not going to be able to pick you up by the throat for that choke slam. And now Chris Jericho, a nice double team maneuver there by Kane and Jericho, as Jericho drops the elbow right on the upper back, right in between the shoulder blades of Daniel Bryan. But Bryan now with a nice counter, and he puts Chris Jericho over there into the corner, but Jericho with a nice counter. And went for their clothesline, but Daniel Bryan able to avoid it. And there's a drop kick right to Chris Jericho. And now big kick to the face as Daniel Bryan looking to get fired up here, looking to quicken the pace. But Chris Jericho, nice counter there by Bryan. And now Daniel Bryan back to the arm here, this time of Chris Jericho stomping away at the elbow. And we'll have to see if Daniel Bryan and CM Punk will work together, because, I mean, Daniel Bryan seems to be working with a bit of an inferiority complex, sort of, is what he's been working with as of late. Because, I mean, Daniel Bryan, he's trying to prove that he deserves a match with CM Punk. He's trying to go back and prove that, I mean, he can face off against the opponents that CM Punk's faced, and that he can beat them even better than CM Punk could. So I mean, is Bryan really going to want to tag into CM Punk here? We'll have to see. Is their friendship going to potentially be destroyed by this? By the Authority refusing to give them a match? I mean, yeah, Bryan, he's just trying to prove himself, trying to prove that he can defeat Punk's opponents and that sort of thing, that he does deserve a match. And maybe he sees that if he could defeat Kane and Jericho here by himself, maybe that would assist him in that goal. But there's a scoop slam right into the ropes. You can see CM Punk wants a tag, but Daniel Bryan doesn't seem to want to give him the tag. And there's a nice running DDT there by Kane. But Daniel Bryan's going to have to be careful here. He's going to have to tag out at some point if he takes too much punishment. And now it looks like he's dragging Kane away from Jericho, and now he makes a tag into CM Punk. And now it is CM Punk looking to get started in this one, and that was a glitch if I've ever seen one. Just like broke his arm there. But now CM Punk, nice float over DDT there to Kane. But now he's in the corner of Jericho and Kane, and he's going to want to get it back over into his own corner, as now driving the elbows right into the shoulders of Kane. Hooks the leg, and an immediate kick out by Kane. Not even a 1 count. At least the referee was in position that time. But there's a kick to the gut of CM Punk. And now Kane makes a tag into Chris Jericho. And CM Punk appears to still be going out. Oh, what a move there by Jericho, taking Daniel Bryan off of the ropes. But now CM Punk, nice drop kick there by Chris Jericho. Daniel Bryan now going to have to get back up onto the ropes there. Nice elbow to the side of the head of Chris Jericho. And now Jericho counters with an elbow of his own. And Jericho with an enziguri kick right to the side of the head. And CM Punk, I mean, we know they faced off for the WWE title back at Extreme Rules. Punk got the victory there. But then Chris Jericho ended up defeating Punk, getting some retribution, I guess, and qualifying for the King of the Ring tournament. I mean, we know both of these two superstars, Kane and Chris Jericho, fell victim to The Undertaker, as The Undertaker was the final superstar to represent Raw in the King of the Ring tournament. The first round, Undertaker defeated Kane, and then went on to defeat Jericho in the next round. And The Undertaker ended up defeating Antonio Cesaro in the semifinals, and then, of course, just fell a little bit short in the match against Mark Henry, as Now we've got King Henry over on SmackDown, going after that World Heavyweight Championship. But The Undertaker seems to still have set his sights on the WWE Championship. And really the only thing standing in his way was Dean Ambrose's rematch clause. And now that Undertaker has seemingly done away with Dean Ambrose, I mean, we don't know the whereabouts of Dean Ambrose. We don't know what the condition of Dean Ambrose is. I mean, he may not even still be alive. We don't know what exactly was with that fire. Could it have been actual fire? Was it, I mean, like, what was it? Was it an illusion? I mean, The Undertaker, or Dean Ambrose even said that The Undertaker is made of illusions. So maybe it wasn't really fire and it was just something else to keep Dean Ambrose out of action. I don't know. The more I talk about it, the more confusing it seems to get. So the point is, The Undertaker has done away with Dean Ambrose, so there's really nothing standing in his way of challenging John Cena for the WWE Championship. And really the only thing standing in his way of that WWE Championship is the current champion, John Cena, who defeated Dean Ambrose at Night of Champions. So let's get back into this matchup here. CM Punk getting the kick right to the face of Chris Jericho. And I guess to make things even more full circle, the reason why John Cena got the WWE Championship match was the victory against CM Punk at SummerSlam. And we have to remember that if Punk had defeated Cena at SummerSlam, he would have had a match with Daniel Bryan. But Cena got the victory, and now we can see what that match has done to the two superstars. CM Punk seems to have kind of continued on some sort of a downward spiral, and John Cena has gone on to become WWE Champion. So I guess that's just sort of to put things into perspective of what that match has done for these two superstars. And now Punk might have almost kicked Daniel Bryan off the ropes there, but now Kane looking to maybe plant him with a DDT right on the apron, and that is exactly what he did right there. Not usually something we see out of Kane. Kane, not a very technical guy, and maybe that move, he must have loosened his elbow pad or something. He just grabbed at it like 3 times, maybe trying to put it back in place of some sort. I don't know. But, that was a bit of a miscommunication there, I'd have to say, between Punk and Bryan. Kane went after Daniel Bryan. Well, maybe it was just Kane trying to avoid the crossbody by CM Punk, and he ended up going over the top rope because of Daniel Bryan. So I don't know. Maybe that was a good thing for the team of Punk and Bryan, for the greatest of all teams, the GOATs, or the best in the beard, whatever you like to call that. I prefer the GOATs, the greatest of all teams, because that's just epic. And now here's CM Punk, maybe trying to make a tag to Daniel Bryan. The stupid game mechanics would work, and he does. CM Punk tags in Daniel Bryan, and now Bryan up to the second rope, and they're right to that same elbow pad that Kane was trying to fix, and that is the same arm that Daniel Bryan has been targeting throughout the match. So maybe that is what's going on with Kane. But now Kane, sidewalk slam to Daniel Bryan, as Kane has been in this match for a while now. He's going to have to make a tag to Chris Jericho. Punk trying to buy Bryan some time to recover here, grabbing Kane from behind. And whether Daniel Bryan wanted that sort of help or not, I don't know. But back to the arm is Daniel Bryan. And now Bryan looks like he's going to go after the leg here. And there's that DDT to the foot. And now Daniel Bryan taking a moment to taunt, trying to get the crowd behind him. And that definitely has been a key theme for Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan very popular with the fans. And now Daniel Bryan looking to make a hot tag here to CM Punk. And Punk comes in off the tag, takes down Kane. And now takes out Jericho here. And CM Punk starting to build up a flurry of offense. And there's the knee to the face bulldog combo. And CM Punk could be looking to put Kane away here with the go to sleep. And yep, he's got him up on his shoulders here, but Kane able to counter into a reverse DDT. Is Daniel Bryan now going after Jericho? Here's the cover by Kane. One. No, CM Punk kicks out. As now Daniel Bryan going to have to get back over there to the apron. Over to his corner. And now here's Kane, has CM Punk by the throat. And Kane choke slam to CM Punk. And that could be it, folks. 1, 2, 3. That is it. Kane and Chris Jericho, they do manage to coexist. And they get the win over CM Punk and Daniel Bryan. So like I said, CM Punk continues on this sort of downward spiral. Ever since SummerSlam, seems like the losses have been piling on for CM Punk. And Kane and Chris Jericho on a hot streak. I mean, Kane and Jericho, they managed to work together, put their egos aside, and get the big tag team victory.
What the hell do you think you're trying to pull here, Paul?
Why, Hunter, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Don't play dumb, Paul. Why were you dressed up as Vince McMahon last week?
Why, Hunter, I was just simply trying out my Halloween costume.
Halloween costume? Who the hell do you think you are?
Alright, I admit it was a bad joke. But, in all honesty, there is nothing scarier than Vince McMahon. Am I correct?
Well, you do have a point, I guess. What do you want?
Well, Hunter, I noticed that Vince McMahon is currently MIA, and I know that Monday Night Raw is in need of a general manager.
You know, Paul, normally I would kick you in the gut and deliver a pedigree right now. But, unfortunately, I don't have any other options. Come see me in my office.
And we're back now. So we've seen now, it has been identified that the man who was dressed up as Vince McMahon last week was none other than Mr. Heyman Hustle himself, Paul E. Dangerously, aka Paul Heyman, the manager of Brock Lesnar. I mean, does Paul Heyman really even need an introduction? We've known that Paul Heyman has had issues with the Authority in the past, and this time looks like he is back and he seeks that general manager position for Monday Night Raw. I mean, Raw has never really had a general manager. I mean, besides John Laurinaitis earlier this year, Raw hasn't really had a general manager since then. Vince McMahon has been running things, but of course he's the chairman of the WWE. He's no mere general manager. And now that Vince is taken out of the equation, Triple H and Stephanie McMahon busy tending to Vince, by the looks of things, and now we've got nobody to run Raw. So looks like Paul Heyman looks like he's going to get his way. Triple H said that he really didn't have any other choice. So it looks like Paul Heyman is going to be our new general manager for Monday Night Raw. So that is something to look forward to. We'll have to see what Heyman can do in the role of general manager. But let's get into this main event matchup here. The Undertaker taking on The Shield, Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. Excuse me. And we do know that The Shield is not going to be too happy with The Undertaker after the events of main event. I mean, like I said, Dean Ambrose, is he alive? Is he dead? Will he ever compete again? We don't know. We really don't know what has become of Dean Ambrose since last Wednesday on main event. And The Shield obviously looking for some redemption after what the Undertaker, well, not really redemption, just revenge in general. And Undertaker really trying to defend himself here. I mean, this is what the Shield does. In chaos, the Shield thrives. And especially in a handicap matchup, when the odds are in favor of the Shield, they can be so dangerous when they have the advantage, when they have the man advantage. We've seen that many times in the past, and it's looking like that's going to be the same case here tonight. The Undertaker, but does he have this coming to him? I mean, the Undertaker pretty much done away with Dean Ambrose, so really, I mean, the Undertaker, does he really deserve this? I mean, he's not innocent, I can tell you that. And the Shield, obviously, they're just looking for revenge here. They're trying to avenge their fallen comrade, Dean Ambrose. And the Undertaker now just kind of trying to survive in this matchup, just try to defend himself. I really don't know. I mean, the Undertaker, he's a pretty powerful dude. I mean, we know what he can do at WrestleMania, but this isn't WrestleMania. Can he really outlast the Shield? I mean, we've seen how destructive the Shield can be as a unit, and we've seen what they're doing already in this matchup. The Undertaker just getting slowly worn out by the double teams. And, I mean, they've just got that man advantage, so it's going to be very difficult for the Undertaker to survive in this matchup. And that's what we're seeing right here. I mean, even if he takes out one member of the Shield, the other is right there, right on top of him to slow him down. And now the Undertaker just, I mean, who do you really target? If you can isolate the Shield, which member do you try to go for? Do you try to work on the weaker or not the weaker link, but do you try to work on the smaller Seth Rollins, or do you try to go after the big, powerful Roman Reigns? I mean, what kind of a strategy is Undertaker going to have to utilize? I mean, more importantly, he should probably try to get some sort of offense in here. I mean, the Shield has just been on top of him since the get-go. No homo. But the Undertaker really hasn't had any sort of offense. The Shield has been in control. They've maintained Samoan drop. What a move by Roman Reigns. But yeah, just sort of like that. Even when Undertaker begins to mount some sort of a comeback, then, like I said, he's at a disadvantage. And this isn't even a tag team match. The Shield doesn't have to tag in and out. They're both in the ring at the same time, and that makes it even more challenging for the Undertaker to be able to get some sort of offense going. And he's trying to defend himself, but you see right there, he takes out Rollins, but Roman Reigns is right there to take him down. And now a clothesline dropping Roman Reigns. And I mean, this is probably a good strategy by the Undertaker. You probably have to try to get one of them out of the ring, and just like that, that's what you got to do. You got to isolate the Shield, sending Roman Reigns over the steel steps. But I mean, even now that the Undertaker had isolated the Shield, he had no time to capitalize, as Seth Rollins was right there to hit him from behind with that reverse DDT. And now Reigns going into the cover. One, but Undertaker kicks out. Is now Seth Rollins. He's going to have to get back into the ring here. And Roman Reigns still continuing to deliver the beatdown on the Undertaker. Seth Rollins just seemingly kind of backing off and letting Roman Reigns do his thing here. And now Undertaker, you see, trying to fight back, but he cannot get any sort of offense. He can't mount any sort of offense whatsoever. As a nice double team move by the Shield, Rollins goes into the cover, but Undertaker kicks out. And now the Undertaker just trying to get Roman Reigns out of there, just trying to get some sort of offense. And now he's got Seth Rollins down. It went for a clothesline, but Reigns counters. And now the Undertaker, there's an Irish whip to Reigns and a back body drop. And now can the Undertaker start to mount some offense? No. Rollins counters with a roll-up, and Undertaker just manages to kick out of that one. That was a close call there for the Undertaker. As now the Shield, maybe a bit of miscommunication there. It looked like Rollins could have been attempting his finisher. And a big DDT there from the Undertaker. And now another one to Roman Reigns. But the Undertaker just can't get Seth Rollins then. If he takes out Reigns, he can't get Rollins. If he takes out Rollins, he can't get to Reigns. That's just the nature of this chaos for the Shield. And Roman Reigns now sent to the outside. And now the Undertaker has Seth Rollins right where he wants him. And now he has him by the throat. The Undertaker chokeslam to Seth Rollins. But look at this. Roman Reigns right back into the ring before the Undertaker can even capitalize. And now the Undertaker measuring Roman Reigns. He's got him up here. Looks like he's going for the tombstone pile driver. And he plants him with that leaping tombstone. But like I said right there, Rollins back up to his feet. Undertaker can't capitalize. And how long can this go on for? 1, 2, 3, and obviously not very long. I mean, the Shield just completely wore out the Undertaker there. I mean, the Undertaker, he's not in his prime anymore. So his cardio, I mean, not to say that he can't put on great matches, but I mean, to try and keep up with two very young superstars, some very young up-and-coming talent like the Shield, who can go the distance. They've proven that they could go the distance just like the Undertaker can. And this is where the age of the Undertaker starts to catch up to him, as the Shield eventually just wearing him down. And now the match is over, but they're looking for blood here, folks. They're just out for revenge. They're here to avenge Ambrose, and that's exactly what they're going to do right here. Double concerto right to the Undertaker, just sandwiching him between those steel chairs. And the Shield manages to avenge Dean Ambrose here tonight. I don't even think the Undertaker really had a chance in that one. But that was our episode of Monday Night Raw. We'll have to see what the fallout of this episode of Raw will be. What is going to go down with that WWE Championship scene, and what is next for the Shield. So I want to thank you all for watching. Make sure to stay tuned for the next episode of WWE 2K14 Universe Mode. Keep on YouTubing.
You'd better keep it clean, Paul, because at the first sign of any sort of funny business, I'll have your ass fired.
Oh, no need to worry about that, Hunter. I can assure you that I share the same interests as the authority.